Alright guys, hi, Coach Katie and Coach Patti here. We're going to talk about some barbell stuff today. How to pick the right barbell based on what your coach is telling you to do as far as choosing which size, how to unload and load the barbell properly, and also adjusting that front rack position, along with a few other tips and tricks. So we have 4 different sizes of barbells here in the gym. I like to refer to them as the daddy, the mommy, and the baby size barbells. So if you come on over here, we got our 4 sizes right here. First one we have here is our baby barbell, or a training barbell. You can see it's the smallest out of the 2, weighs 15 pounds. Next we have our women's barbell, or the mommy barbell. This one weighs 35 pounds, and you can see it's the medium height between the 2. It also has a little bit more narrow of a grip compared to the other barbells. Next, here we have our daddy barbell, our gentleman's barbell. This one's a 45-pound barbell. You can see it has 2 smooth strips right here, and it has our regular grip on here. This is the one we always want our gentlemen to be grabbing if they're choosing a barbell. Next to it, we have another gentleman's barbell, 45 pounds still, except this one is a little bit thicker as far as grip goes on it. It's gonna be a little harder on your grip. It only has the 1 smooth notch over here. So we always wanna make sure, gentlemen, that you're grabbing the one with the 2 stripes versus the one with just the 1 stripe. So now let's talk about the parts of the barbell. We're gonna head on over here to the rig while I break down the different parts of the barbell that you should know. So here we have one of our bars up on the rig. This long part here, it's the shaft. Insert, that's what she said joke. On the shaft, we have our knurling. That's this rough stuff right here, and it helps you grip that bar as you're doing all your different lifts and movements. Also, you notice that we have some smooth marks on here. That smooth mark can help you also identify where your hand placement needs to be for either a snatch or an overhead squat. Now, if we come out here to the end, this is the sleeve of the barbell. These were all of our plate weights go on at this end. Next, Coach Patti's going to talk to us a little bit about the rack height and adjusting it to the proper height for you.
All right, guys, so one of the things that I see that people have a little hard time with sometimes is figuring out where does that rack need to be set up at so that you can have a proper lift. So one of the most important tips that you can have is that rack, that barbell, should be right where your collarbone comes. So if you come up here to this one, you will see a barbell that is set up at the right height for me. So as I walk up to it, it is set where those J-ring or J-hooks are set up properly, and that barbell comes right where my collarbone is. I'm able to grab the barbell and stand up and walk back with my feet flat. And then when I put it back, I'm able to put it down without much movement up and down, okay? So the next one I'm gonna show you is a barbell that's a little too short for me. So we walk up to this barbell, and as you can see, it's definitely not near my collarbone. For me to be able to take this one, I have to bend down, really, bend my knees, stand up straight, and then walk it back. The difficulty with this one comes with, when you're putting it back, you have to really follow it down, and if it gets to be heavy, this can be, a little dangerous. So one of the things though is that, or one of the times where having a barbell set up where it's a little short and it's okay is when you are paired with someone who is shorter than you. So if you have someone that's shorter than you, that barbell rack height should be set up for them, okay? And then you, as the little bit taller person, are able to bend down to their height and pick it up. All right, next we're going to move on to one that is a little too tall for me. So as you can see, when I walk up to this barbell, it hits me right at the chin. So for me to be able to take this barbell off, I have to become a little unstable, go up on my tippy toes, and walk it back. So that is definitely way too high and definitely the most dangerous out of all of these positions. So while we are talking about rack height and barbells, usually, while we're over here, we're about to do some type of strength. And one of the things that come up a lot are warm-up weights. So a good rule of thumb, if you're not sure where you would start for a warm-up weight, is gonna be take 50% of your 1 rep max. So if your 1 rep max is 100 pounds, 50% would be a good starting warm-up weight for any lift that we're gonna do. Another thing that would be helpful is tracking your weights. So if you're not sure of what weights you're doing in a workout, like let's say we're doing snatches and you're not familiar with what weight you normally lift, being able to track that is will help you later on. And ways to track that there are a couple electronic ways. SugarWatt is free. Beyond the Whiteboard is a paid subscription. There's also what I do, which is a paper journal, or even just a plain old notebook. Any of those things to be able to keep track of what your weights are at and how you're doing with your lifts will help you out in the long run to be able to help you see that progression that you've been going through. So next we're going to talk about some tips and tricks, and Katie's going to show us how to load a barbell.
All right, guys, so we're going to talk about how to load the barbell safely for both you and the barbell. So first things first, I got a couple 45-pound plates here I want to put on my bar because I'm deadlifting today. How to do that? Managing my time. So rather than just trying to take one plate over there at a time, I'm going to roll both of them over there. So first I'm going to get them standing up. And I see a lot of people are going to roll their plates like this. So this can get a little crazy. One's going one way, one's going the other way. Hard to control. What you want to do is you want to push those plates together, get them stuck nice and close together, and roll them as one unit. A lot faster and a lot easier. So I'm going to leave this guy over here for that side. We're going to put this one on over here. So I'm going to bring it over to the end here, pick my barbell up, stick it in the hole. That's what she said.
We love those jokes here.
I'm going to just pull that bar on. If I can't do that very well, because this is a heavier plate, it's not going anywhere, I'm just going to slide that barbell through. Not a whole lot of effort to do that. So now, putting it on the other side. Again, I'm going to roll this over here, get it in the correct position, get my barbell set up, and then rather than try and go over here and try and push it on, I'm going to stay over here. I'm going to grab that plate, and I'm going to pull it on. That's a lot easier for me and for my back, and without having to put a lot of stress on my body before I even lift any weights. So from here, I got some tens I got to throw on too. Easy way to do that, take a 2.5-pound plate, put it right in front of that 45, roll that 45 up onto it. I'm gonna grab my 10, slides on nice and easy, roll it back off. Same thing on the other side. Boom. And friendly note, if you are lifting in a WOD, doing strength work, and your number that you're trying to be lifting ends with a 0, whether it's 100, 150, I don't care, always going to have 2.5 plates on the bar if the number ends in a 0. And figuring out our barbell math, it is always easiest to start with the plates on the inside. We always want to have our bigger plates on the inside and our smaller plates on the outside. Do not put 5 10s on each side of the bar. Please put a 45-pound plate and a 5-pound plate. You will drive your coaches nuts, and we're going to run out of 10s if everyone's doing that. So make sure, if you got a lot of small plates on one side of the bar, make sure you take them off and put a bigger plate on the side of the bar. It's also better for those weights too as well. So right now, I've got a 45-pound bar. It's a men's bar. I got 45-pound weights on each side. That's 135 pounds right there. Next set of plates I have on there is a set of 10s on each side. That brings me to 155. Then I have 2.5s on either side. Brings me to a total of 160 pounds on this bar right here. Make sure you check out our blog. We're going to be posting a little cheat sheet that's got the barbell sizes and then easy plate weights that we're normally using in our WODs in here. So next, let's talk about these dreaded clips. Sometimes these are like the worst thing ever. Trying to get them on can be really hard. If we look at our clip, it's got a little bit of a curve, very, very small kind of C shape. But if you look at it, you can see it a little bit, especially one of the handles more than the other. That curve is going to go towards the weight. So I'm going to squeeze and I'm going to slide that on there. Boom. We always want to make sure that we're using clips on our bars when we're out on the floor doing any movement, really where we're pulling that weight off the floor. So, got them nice and smooth on each side. If I do put this on wrong, it doesn't quite snug up as well. As you can see, it gets kind of stuck there. It's not going to hold these plates quite as close as it should be. So, now we know how to load the bar properly. Now, how do we unload it properly without hurting ourselves or the barbell? One of the worst things you can do for your barbell is dropping it repeatedly on the floor with no plates on it. So, from here, I'm going to take off my little plates first. That's pretty easy. I could probably even take off my 10-pounder because that's pretty light. That's going to move. from here, I want to pull it towards me. That's going to be a lot easier than just trying to push it off the other way. So I can pull it off just like that. Now from here, what I'm going to do, again, I could pull, but look where I get. If I pull anymore, that bar is going to drop, it's going to hit the floor. That's not good. Your coach cringes every time your barbell hits the floor like that. Please don't do it. So what I could do from here is I could lift my bar and just push off from there. Or I could start here, lift my bar a little bit, slide that plate off, set my bar on the ground nicely. Now I'm going to go over to the other side, make sure I take off this stuff. Alright, how do I get that 45-pound plate off there? Easiest way, I'll pick up my barbell, stand it up, lift it out of there. And all that was done without hurting a person or a barbell. So, last part for today's video, we're going to go back to Coach Patti. She's going to talk about going overhead with the bar and how to bring it down safely for both you and your barbell.
All right, guys, so one of the things that makes me cringe the most is when I see people have this weight overhead and they drop it from overhead. Not only is that dangerous, but that's why we have all those 10s with the huge cracks in the side, because they're being dropped from too high. We need to be able to control that barbell for the equipment, but most importantly for the safety of us and the people we are working out with. So what I'm going to show you first is what it looks like when you drop it incorrectly. All right, so that barbell goes up, overhead, and then we're just dropping it. That bounce, that's what we're not looking for.
That's how 10s die.
That is where 10s go to heaven. So that is also how someone in front of you could get hurt. That barbell started to roll, as you could see. I had to chase it a little bit. That barbell, with enough weight on there, could roll ahead to the next person and really hurt them in their lift. So the proper way to drop it is to bring it down here, and then you can let it go from here, but you're also going to be following that barbell down. So you take it up overhead, we follow it, drop it, and catch it. So, why is this important? Well,
we want to make sure that you don't get hurt, and we also want to make sure that our barbells and our plates don't get hurt. Keeps everyone happy that way.
yes. So, that's all we've got for you guys today. If you have any questions, please always ask your coaches. We're more than happy to answer you, and if we're not sure, we'll always research the answer for you. We'll see you guys next time.